Good evening. Hi, Matt, Say Wong, and AbiliTV. Welcome in. Say Wong said, "Gasp! Van didn't forget." LOL.
Thanks, Say Wong. What's up, John? What's up, Matt? And what is up, Say Wong? How is everybody doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm anxiously waiting to see Oscars. I'm wanting to see who wins Best Supporting Actor. Van and I were just talking about it. Hi, Leonard. How are you?
What's up, Mike?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not able to sign into anything, so I can't watch them here. And you can't you have to be signed into something to watch it. And I'm like, I don't have the sign-in info there.
Oh,
It's okay. I'll just probably watch it if he wins. I'll just go watch it delayed, like after the fact. They'll post it. Van said,
yeah, Kevin. I just ran into Kevin.
Shirt. I got my new Rockstar sweatshirt.
Duran, hello. One of our previous winners.
Matt Mike.
All right. We have an incredible show tonight. I am very, very excited. Before we get started, though, I do want to let everybody know we have a sale running at kybercave.com right now. Everything in the store is 20% off, I believe. Did we get that taken care of?
You have to put in AbiliTV as a code, and it will get you 20% off of your purchase.
No, we need to make that list that
on
the website.
We'll have to figure that out later because unfortunately there's not one on there that I can find out. That's not.
We need to make a poster and just put it on, you know what I mean. At any rate, so everything on the website is 20% off. But the reason we are doing that is we are in the midst of a fundraiser. There is the GoFundMe information in the description. We are raising money right now for a producer named Jon. At AbiliTV, he is our producer on Beatdown as well as Hearts of Kyber and our host. But he is in desperate need of a new wheelchair. So 20%, all the Sabers right now are 20% off. On top of that, 20% of any purchases made will be going towards that GoFundMe for the lightsaber. For the wheelchair fund.
Everyone's like, I'll do a GoFundMe for a lightsaber.
Or if you just want to help out, or if you would like to share or repaste the information, that is all down below in our description.
Yes, it is. There is a link down there to the.
There's AbiliTV's right there. I put in 100%.
Yes, you did. Hello, Kevin. How are you?
Oh man, there were so many cool celebrities. There was 2 Ewoks today, a Jawa, a Tusken Raider, a Vader, a drummer guy from one of Jabba's scenes. Sarcraculus Crumb was there. I got to talk to nobody.
You were busy.
We were busy. Our booth was literally nonstop until 15 minutes before the convention ended today. So we will be next weekend. We will be at Bright Spot in Fairfield at 9 a.m. next Saturday. And next Sunday, we will be at Toy Fusion in Sacramento at 10 a.m. So next weekend, you can find us in Fairfield or in Sacramento. And then 2 weeks behind that, we will be at Sac Anime. We're signed up for Juneteenth. We'll be at Juneteenth. We'll be at the Benicia Star Wars Festival. We're going to be all over the place.
You're tiring me out just saying it all. And I'm not even going to be there.
Kevin says he saw the Lego Mandalorian. Nice. No Sac Comic Con. No, wait. No, we are not doing Sac Comic Con or Carrier Con next week because we will be at two different spots, but we are doing Sac Anime 2 weeks behind that. Sewa.
Also, news. So first on the news this evening, aside from the Oscars happening right now, there's a new Yoda and Anakin comic book exclusive preview. So there's this weapon that they need to stop from being activated, which sounds a lot like very Death Star-y. And so it's like Mega Droid. If you look down in the comments, there's a link to the article with the exclusive preview. It's supposed to say preview, not review, but it kind of makes sense either way. What's up? Also, the next thing on our nerdy news, meet Kahhori. Marvel's newest superhero. So this is on one of the What If episodes. And this is, what if you guys haven't watched on Disney Plus, what if is like, what if this happened instead and this? And so this one is this, what if the Tesseract fell, and I'm so sorry. I wrote it down and I left my notebook upstairs. It fell on these Native Americans on their tribe in their area. Like, so what would happen if that? And she's like the newest hero on
Native American.
Marvel.
That is so cool.
It sounds really interesting. I'm really excited for that episode. So check in the description below for the article to that, so you can meet Kahhori and learn more about her character and her superhero.
Yeah. Woohoo! Excited for that.
Yeah, that is their nerdy news for today.
Nerdy news.
That's not exactly how it goes. No, that's totally.
Is that Mario?
Yes.
What up, Rogue? Contra Costa was so much fun. We didn't get a chance to leave our little booth, but we met a ton of great people this today. I think we picked up like 11 subscribers today, which means we are only 65 away from our next Saber giveaway. So please like, share.
That's very exciting. So yes, please like and subscribe. Get her little banner up going. There we go. Please like and subscribe, guys. It really helps us out with the algorithm and such. Moving on, guys, we have James Kaiser, who's one of our producers here on Saber Rattle. He is actually so he's here for Flow the show. He goes and he finds a flow artist that gives us permission to use their video. So in the description is the link to this artist page. And so without further ado, here is JourneyJones Copes. Enjoy. I finally fixed Mr. Kaiser's name.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you so much, James, for bringing that to us. That was really cool, and I was like sitting there nervous every time I could tell he was to do something with like the fluid in his mouth and like eating it.
Right, that was so cool. I don't remember us seeing anything like that where he was like spitting it out and doing it out like that. And why is it?
Yeah.
I swear to God, dude, I do not understand it at all. But tell me if I'm wrong. Every single fire artist we have ever had on this show has long hair. What is going on with that?
I don't know.
How are they not bald?
Caution. I don't know. He got it on his arm, so what it looked like to me, and I don't know much about fire eating and such, but that he put the fluid like on his arm, and then it burns up really quick, and then it will go out, but it won't actually burn him. But it makes me wonder if he has any hair left on his arm. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Kaiser. Sir, would you like to introduce our guest?
Oh man, our guest tonight, I am very, very excited about. He hasn't been on in a while, but he has been on this channel a couple of times before. This gentleman is the founder of Lightspeed Saber League. They are an international group of saberists, started in Southern California, but has grown and expanded from there. And they are one of the more professional leagues. If you go to their website, they have so many great training videos. And if you're interested in starting a Lightspeed in your area, maybe you don't have other people in your area that have a Lightspeed already. What's fantastic is their website is set up so that people, no matter where you're at, can get the information that you need and start your own.
Just check the description down below, and it has a link to the site.
Excellent, excellent. So with no further ado, please give it up for Mr. Cang Snow. What is going on, Mr. Snow?
Not too much. That was a really nice intro. That was very. So thank you very much.
Oh, you are welcome. We appreciate you coming out and talking to us tonight. What is new in your world? I think the last time I talked to you, I can't remember, but I think we were just starting to come out of COVID, but it wasn't to the point yet where we were able to really start getting groups together. But you guys are now long and going, and you have lots of stuff going on, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we took a hit with COVID and stuff like that, along with everyone else. But we're trying to come back now, and so we're starting to run our major events again. It's a little bit tough, but figure we need to come back in some form. So hopefully we'll be able to catch up with where we were, and hopefully people haven't given up on us, and we'll be able to come back and have some fun again.
With such a big break for COVID, did that allow you time to maybe go back and work on things that you didn't really have time to do before, or things like website issues or getting videos up or things like that?
You know, that's a really smart question, Ben. Actually, because you know I had a gym open before COVID, and we had to shut it down, and I'm hoping to reopen it soon. But you know, we went to online training after we closed the gym, and that actually gave us time to create a lot of educational material, actually. And so many of the new squadrons that have joined up with us since then, they are graduates of our first online unit program, actually. And so it's been a really, it's funny that we ended up doing that, and it ended up creating something that was really good for us to be able to help people get into the sport and expand and stuff like that. So yeah, we did in fact, that did in fact allow us to create some stuff that we weren't able to before. In fact, I'm hoping to come back to that sometime soon too.
Yeah, well, hopefully we don't need another pandemic to come back to that.
Fair point.
Now, when you came out of this, did you find were people hungry and ready to go? Were they ready to meet up, or were people still cautious about COVID?
Well, I mean, we were all cautious about COVID. I mean, fortunately, I have a good set of people who help me, and in fact, it's funny because they're actually more cautious than I am, and so they're the ones who hold me back. Funny enough, but when we first started, we were resuming our they're not classes, but they're group trainings, and we were outside. And we were still wearing masks and stuff like that. And at this point, everyone is vaccinated for the most part, and so we can kind of do it without the masks, but we're still outside. And there was some timidness, of course, but I think the real problem at that point was people were getting tired of the online classes. So at that point, it was important for us to get back outside. So I would say that more than anything, people were eager to get back outside, actually. So
right. Did you I know when I talked to Charlie Cummings at Saber Legion, I've talked to some other people from different groups. They were saying that their numbers took some hits during COVID, but they were slowly rebuilding those numbers back up after. For you, were new bases starting as COVID was happening because you still had people training, or were you able to come out the other side with roughly the same group, or did your group shrink or expand?
I would say, we definitely lost groups.
Mhm.
When it happened, and we still can't. It's sort of funny. I feel like we're talking about like lost colonies or lost space stations, but because we have a branding, and so we call our teams, we call our different places, we call them Lightspeed Saber bases.
Right.
And so for example, we end up saying things like, we don't have any more contact with the Dublin base, they're gone, we've lost communication with the Dublin base, and their competitive teams are called squadrons,
Right.
and so, which is intentional, because it ends up evoking this funny idea that we have that the Jupiter base is gone, we've lost contact with the Jupiter base. But yeah, we definitely lost bases, and some of them we had trouble contacting since then. I think they've since moved on to other things. But we also picked up new ones as well. Like I said, we created educational material that allowed us to pick up new bases, including our first base outside the United States. It's a team in Ontario. So so I would say we're almost back to where we were. We don't quite have the competition tournament size that we did.
Right.
Namely because we don't have a kids division anymore right now because of COVID.
Right.
But hopefully once we open the gym back up here, we'll be able to resume that.
Right. What has been your biggest challenge? Has it been getting people kind of remotivated, or just getting them the locations to go fight at, or what has been your biggest challenge getting everybody back out?
The biggest challenge for getting people back out at this point is I think it's most likely just making sure that we have a good, strong competitive scene like we did before. Like I said, the last term we had before the pandemic was February of 2020, and that was a 4-division tournament and at DreamHack, and we had a big crowd of people watching and stuff like that. We haven't had anything like that since then, and so I think we're just not in the mode right now to go back out into big events where there's tons of people around, and that kind of dampers people's motivation a little bit. But again, hopefully we'll be back to stuff like that shortly.
Well, that's kind of, we were going to be talking about a big event that you do have coming up. You have your finals coming up in Vegas. That's correct? That's your finals, right?
Well, it's our nationals, or our North American event, and so we're inviting people from all over North America, which is just to say it really means the United States, to be fair, but we do have people coming from Canada, so that's gonna be nice.
Excellent. And what is the date on that for all the people in the audience?
Yeah, thanks. It's we're gonna start on June 22nd and we finish on June 25th. So it's a 4-day event technically.
Okay. And if I wanted to come out and watch, can people come out and be part of the audience?
Yeah, we'll be selling spectator tickets there. It'll be free on the first and last day. But we'll have competitive tickets. We'll be selling tickets to watch for Friday and Saturday. So, but it's not a stadium or anything. It's just a Vegas room. So it's not really designed for spectators, so to speak. But we'll be a little bit better geared for spectators than last year. We'll have all the main events by the front doors. We'll be opening up all the doors so anyone who can walk by and watch it and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll be selling spectator tickets for anyone who wants to come in and watch all the different events.
And is the room going to be like, is it just one ring or is it like 4 rings inside there?
It's going to be up to 4 rings. So we're going to have at least 3 competitive rings going on at once, and then 1 sparring ring that's on the side for people to practice on the side and stuff like that. And then we'll actually be partnering with the martial arts tournament next door to us, which is World Championships. It's a World Championships Karate, I think. So we are planning to borrow their octagon, and so we will be hosting some of our finals events in the octagon. So we're gonna borrow their audience and hopefully be able to show off some of what we do there.
Right. One of the things I love about Lightspeed, you know, and I'm not taking anything away from any of the other leagues or anything, but you guys seem to be so well organized, especially with your information. You used to have a show called Rogue Series, and I really loved how that was narrated. But as far as being organized and having information on one spot, I feel like you guys are one of the top places. Does that help you grow more bases in other places? I mean, do people find your website pretty easy to come to and figure out?
You know, it's funny that you say that because we used to not have much information, and because I was actually very secretive, actually, so I didn't like revealing too much about how we do things. But at some point, I realized that was, I don't know, maybe sometimes that was the right idea, but eventually I realized that was the wrong thing to do, and so we had to start putting more information up. And yeah, so I there's still more that we should be doing, honestly. There's definitely more that I would like to put information up about, simply because manpower is a problem, or people power, I should say. And so yeah, the more we can put up, the better. And so, but yeah, it's been a good source of information for people, and people come to us sometimes knowing a lot already. And sometimes I'm surprised. I've even accepted students here at my base here in Irvine, and I'm teaching them, and they like already know things. I'm like, were you a fencer before, or did you already do this stuff? He's like, oh, I watched your videos. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, good. I guess that helps. So that's a good thing.
You have a question here. It says, is this Tournament Vegas event going to be live streamed?
Yeah, we're definitely going to be live streaming some of it. I'm still getting used to the live stream thing, but I think that there are people who are better at it than I am, so hopefully be able to put them on it and get them live streaming for us.
Right. I'm still trying to get a team together. Hopefully we can get a team together and come down there. I talked to Gary and V. For some of the people in the audience, Kyber Cave is going to be sponsoring this event. So we'll be giving out some prizes for the winners and things like that. But Ripper Blades also will be sponsoring this event. So I've been talking to Gary and V about the possibility of all of us sharing a room so that all of us could be out there for you.
Yeah, it would be great to have all y'all. I mean, I don't know. I don't mind. I hope you don't mind if I put this out there, but I'm really hoping that Kyber Cave will live stream the event for us. I would love for them to live cast it for us, because I think they're going to be doing a great job at that. And by the way, if I can mention something real fast, if the Kyber Cave audience hasn't seen Kyber Cave After Dark, if that's the name of the show,
yes,
it's a great show. I actually tuned in for the first time last night.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that they're willing to talk about some contentious and important topics. And so that's really what tuned me into it, because honestly, there's only so much you can talk about lightsabers without having to see it. So
Right.
and then the great thing about this show is you can just listen to it. You don't have to be watching it constantly. So I really like the Kyber Cave After Dark show.
Right.
So,
And we just recently, we have a new show called Beatdown that we do on our show. And it's basically just going to different schools, showing them video of them practicing or fighting and then having a DJ on top. But I want to say Lightspeed was featured in one of our Beatdown episodes. Is that correct, Jon? If you're still in the audience, I think we had Lightspeed in there, right, Jon?
I saw it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There we go. I thought we did. Excellent. Yeah, I'm hoping. You hear that, Mez? You got to talk your husband into letting us take a crew down there.
I will do my best.
What's up, Fourzze? Fourzze is out on the East Coast right now in Philly, I believe. What are you hoping for from this tournament? How many people are you expecting to compete there?
We're expecting about 35 to 40, and the main thing we're doing is we're testing. We're hoping to test a few different things out. We're going to be hosting. It's not going to be our first team event, but it's going to be our first team event at the national event.
Oh.
Hey, Washington D.C. How's it going? The Fourzze effect should. Who's the Fourzze effect? Is that one of your people?
Yeah, that's he's a font maker. Fourzze FX. He's a
cool.
font maker, but he's one of the hosts in Kyber Cave After Dark as well.
Fourzze, you should check out our DC team. They're in Rockville, so you should go check them out. So I'm sure they'll take care of you. But anyway, so we're trying out a couple different team events, including a tag team event and as well as a relay event. And then also we're still optioning whether we're going to be allowing our new Dyad Saber setup. So we're going to see how that goes. Saber? Our new Dyad Saber setup.
Oh, what is that about?
Yeah, so if y'all don't know, we have different weapon setups in Lightspeed. We don't have as many as other systems do. Like Saber Legion has a lot of setups, and we don't do that many. And so we only have a few. And some of them aren't even competition legal, actually. Mm-hmm. And so two of them are. We now have two dual wield setups. One is called Tano Saber. The other one is called Dyad Saber.
Okay.
And so Tano Saber is not legal in competition because this is where you use two equal size lightsabers that are a little bit shorter than normal.
Right.
And we don't allow it in competition because our refs aren't ready for it yet. It's really hard to referee two sabers, And when you have potentially two dual wielders against each other and there's up to 4 lightsabers that can score, that's really tough. And so we want to make sure our refs are ready to do that. And so we don't have a referee program to deal with that yet. So we don't allow it in competition. And so our second officer in DC, he came up with the idea to introduce a dual wield class that only allows one saber that can be scored with. Mm-hmm. And so it's dual wielding, but only one saber can score. And so there's up to 4 sabers at a time, but there's still only 2 sabers that are actually going to be scoring.
Right. So the other one's more of a defensive.
Exactly. So that way our referees have an easier time with it. And I think it's actually really fascinating because it's not only making the reffing easier, but it's also creating like whole new strategies and tactics that can only work with this weapon setup. And it's also simplifying the dual wield setup. And so one reason that I never created educational material for dual wield is because there's so much going on with a dual wield setup. In this case, there's only one weapon that actually attacks. And so it's simplifying the educational content too. So I haven't published any educational content to the public yet, but I have created educational content exclusively for our team captains. And it's immediately become much, much easier to do. And so we're hoping to introduce that to nationals. We are introducing it to our low level competitions right now. And so our regional directors are deciding what the rules are to go with that weapon. So the rules are not completely set in stone yet, but I think of all our bases as like laboratories of experimentation. And so we're letting them figure out what they like best, and after that we'll figure out what will be the national rules and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that we'll be introducing that. We'll also be holding workshops. Our Coach Russ Mitchell will be there in Vegas, and he'll be teaching a workshop in Dyad Saber. So I'm super excited about that. We also have Laura Carnes coming in, who is going to be teaching some longsword, which will be our Ren Saber class, which is our cross guard setup. And for people who don't know, all our classes are designed to be work with each other. So they don't have individual separate classes, separate divisions. They all work together within the same divisions. So they're all designed to work against each other.
Wonderful. And for people that don't know, with the Lightspeed system, you guys currently use, for competitive purposes, you use 3 different weapon setups, right? There's the Ray, the Ren, and then you have a third style. Is that correct?
Well, now it's Dyad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what
Chano is the 4th one that's not legal yet.
Okay. So the 3rd one is Dyad then.
Yeah.
Okay. And so for the Lightspeed system, what that means is if you are in a Ray competition, everybody is using just your standard saber. The Ren is when people are using cross guards, so it would be a cross guard versus a cross guard.
Well, let me stop you there. So to make it clear, we don't currently hold individual weapon class events, actually.
Okay.
So we if you go into any Lightspeed Saber tournament currently, you can go in with a Ray Saber, a Ren Saber, or Dyad Sabers. And so again, they're designed to work with each other. So for example, a Ray Saber is the standard weapon, right? Ren Saber is the same length, but it's almost 3 times heavier, and it has a cross guard. So it's designed to be used differently. It also has length minimums. So it's generally designed to be a 2-handed weapon, and it's heavier, right? And then a Dyad Saber, you have one weapon that's a little bit shorter than a Ray Saber, and then you're allowed to pair it with a shorter parrying saber. So each one has advantages and disadvantages, and they're designed to work with each other in a competitive balance, basically. So we don't have any Dyad Saber tournaments. We don't have Ren Saber tournaments. We don't have Ray Saber tournaments. We just have one division where everything is mixed together. Yeah. So so hopefully, and again, there's room to play with it, but hopefully everything is properly balanced. So anything could come out on top.
Right. How are people in the early tryouts for these, like the dyads and stuff like that? How are people liking it? Are they seem to be into it?
Yeah, I mean, Dyad Saber has been a real shot in the arm. People are really thrilled about it, and almost every squadron is trying it out right now.
Right.
Another reason that I didn't want to introduce dual wielding is because I was afraid it would become too popular and people would jump into it not looking very good and proficient with it,
Right.
But this is simplifying it a little bit and giving everyone an opportunity to start getting used to it early. And we're allowing people to do it in the lower level divisions. So yeah, it's been very exciting, and people are jumping all over it right now. So hopefully people will start to get good with it, and so hopefully it'll be exciting.
We have a question here. Why do you use those names for the sabers?
Yeah, that's a great question. I wanted to. Lightspeed Saber is designed to pay homage to Star Wars, but we're not beholden to Star Wars, and so that's part of our marketing. So when we came up with the different class names, I wanted them to evoke Star Wars, but I didn't want them to run into any problems with Lucasfilm potentially,
Right.
And so that's why I liked using the names like Ray and Ren and stuff like that, because the alternative was I would name something like the Obi Sabers or the Luke Sabers or something like that, and I thought that would be too closely connected,
Right.
And so if I like the name Ray because Ray it's a name, but also it's just a word, it's kind of abstract, I like that it's more abstract because Luke is obviously a name,
Right.
It can't be confused with anything. It's obviously of someone's name, whereas Ray, again, it could be someone's name. It could be
a ray of light.
It could be a ray of light. It could be a lot of different things, and and Ren isn't. It is a name, but it's fairly uncommon,
Right.
And then when we named the Tano Sabers after Ahsoka Tano, Tano is also not a normal name either.
Right.
So there's almost it's almost a plausible deniability kind of sort of sense, but not exactly. I mean, obviously, we have no problem admitting where they come from.
Right.
But we did the work to make sure that we were distanced enough, and to make sure that we have a separate identity, and therefore we're not beholden to anything that Star Wars ultimately does. So we can take what we want to, and we can leave what we want to. So
Right. And correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Lightspeed kind of start up shortly after The Force Awakens?
Yeah, you have a great memory, Van. Yeah, we did. Initially we were set up as SoCal Lightsaber League, actually, to begin with. And so the idea at the time was to build a lightsaber competitive lightsaber fencing brand that Lucasfilm would possibly accept.
Right.
And so. We did start right after Force Awakens, and but lots of things did too. Force Awakens really injected a lot of energy into the competitive lightsaber fencing systems out there. So
right. We have another question. Do you work with handicapped people at all? Maybe people in wheelchairs or
yeah, that's a great
other
question.
Disabilities?
Thanks to Metza for asking that. We don't have a formal division for it or anything like that, or formal learning materials for it, but when I'm teaching my classes, or when I taught my classes at the gym, we would periodically do things that are handicap friendly.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it depends on your form of handicap or your form of ability. But we do a form of drill where we all fight sitting down on a bench. It's bench fencing. It's basically like fighting as if you're sitting in a chair or a wheelchair.
Right.
And then so your movement is limited, so you can't move a whole lot, but you can focus heavily on your blade work, And we also do forms of training where we just stand in a spot and we can move a little bit, but you're instructed specifically not to move very much, again, so you can focus on your blade work. So if you've ever seen para fencing at the Olympics where people fight from wheelchairs, they're seated down in bolted chairs, and it's just heavy blade work, and it's a ton of blade work back and forth. It looks very much like the fencing you would see in like The Princess Bride, for example, where because you're not moving very much, but you're forced to stay in place, so you're always in blade work position. You're always in blade work distance. Whereas in a normal sword fight, you can move in and out of range as much as you need to, and which is the dominant way most people fence, actually. So it's in many ways that type of fencing actually is closer to what you expect to see in a film.
Right. Now, if somebody came to your competition and they were, say, in a wheelchair or something like that, would you be able to accommodate them, or would you say, I'm sorry, we don't really, we're not really set up for that kind of thing?
You know what? I mean, there's no rules that say you can't use a wheelchair, so I guess technically it would be illegal. But as the rules as written, I guess would also imply that the wheelchair itself would be a target. So I think you'd have a hard time winning. But I mean, I could see a regional director deciding some way to make it work. So because again, the rules don't say you can't. So I guess it would technically be possible. But that so far hasn't happened. I would be delighted to have a handicap. This is what we call adaptive fencing, and I would be delighted to have an adaptive division. Honestly, we just don't have that many people for it yet. But maybe once we're able to open our gym again, we might be able to do that.
Excellent. Mez says, that's really cool. I used to do martial arts, but my body's become a little complicated, and I'm looking for something to get into. Do you have people that join Lightspeed that are like, I'm not really here for Star Wars. I just need to lose some weight, and I hate going to the gym. Do you have people that just are doing it for exercise, or? Yes, absolutely. In fact, I feel like I kind of specialize in that. I don't come from like growing up doing a lot of sports and stuff like that.
I never got into traditional like ball sports and things like that. It really took less traditional sports to get me interested in athletics and stuff like that. And so that's how I got into things like paintball and rock climbing, CrossFit and fencing. And so I really like people who come in who either, you know, do non-traditional sports or just haven't done sports in general, or I really like the people who come into us who've never done any sports, but you know, they're like me. You know, they just weren't interested in the normal stuff, and they just needed the right motivation. They needed the right thing that would make them interested. And so that's why I really like those people, and because I feel for them. I feel like I'm just like them, and so we definitely do get people who are in here who aren't here necessarily for Star Wars, but they're here for, you know, just some other reason, or they see something in what we're doing, and I'm really grateful for those people.
You know, it seems to me, and you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me because this isn't a traditional sport, right? It's not football, it's not basketball, it's not something that people are used to seeing all the time. It seems like your organizations would be a lot more tight knit. It seems like a lot of close friendships would form because this is such an unusual sport to play.
Yeah. That's definitely true. You know, we have a little bit of a problem actually with that, because our fences are also our referees, and even when we have dedicated referees in a tournament, oftentimes the referees are refereeing their own teammates, or even if they're not their own teammates, they're their own friends, you know. And so that's to me, that's always kind of an issue that we need to work through to try to make sure that our refs are unbiased. But yeah, it's definitely a thing. It's definitely overall a good thing for sure, you know, because people are out there to help each other. They're not out there to hurt each other, stuff like that. But yeah, it also has some downsides too, that we're trying to work through. But overall, yes, it definitely means that everyone's important. You know, every person that stops, every person that comes in is critical to our growth and our success.
Right. So it's Lightspeed's going to beat the calories out of you one round at a time.
What? Yeah. What's up? What's up with this Kevin guy? Why is he? Why is he talking smack on me right now?
No, actually, Kevin used to, when we used to do Lightspeed at in Fairfield, Kevin was one of the people that came in to Lightspeed. So he was one of our. He was at our base when we had that going.
Oh, I see. Got it.
We have a question here. What's your favorite type of saber and blade color for you?
I don't know what you mean by type right now.
I'm wondering if that's like cross guard or your single blade or a pike.
No, good question. Well, my favorite blade color is definitely like blue, like icy blue. I can't seem to get away from it. Everything I end up having is kind of an icy, cool blue, you know.
Right.
And so I guess that's my color. And then as for sabers, what's my favorite thing to use? I mean, I like everything. I mean, look, let's face it. I designed the sport, and so obviously I would design in a way that I would enjoy it. So I like every weapon that we have. So, at this point, I'm trying to spend more time with Ren Saber and Dyad Saber, because I'm trying to develop the techniques for them and stuff like that, and because we've been doing Ray Saber for so long. So I have a slight bias for using those right now, but I mean, I enjoy all of them for various reasons. So
excellent. And what do you see coming up for Lightspeed? Do you see? I know you're working on the Dyad and trying that out. Is that your big push for right now with Lightspeed, or are you trying to grow more? What is Lightspeed's focus right now?
Yeah, well, being relatively still a small organization, we still have a lot to do in all kinds of areas. But I'm focusing on bringing more people into the organization and delegating what they need to do. But the whole organization at large, I think we need to focus on bringing in more squadrons into the league. And just getting in more bringing in, because the main reason being is because the more people we have, the more people we can count on to help us do things, honestly.
Right.
And so I think that's the most important thing we can be doing right now. We're hosting a lot of tournaments. We depending on the region, we have a tournament like every month, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's something we have down. So I think we just want to start bringing in more people, more than anything right now.
And is it difficult to grow and bring new people in as opposed to kind of reinforcing the people that you have already in there? Like, do you do advertising in newspapers? Come down to Lightspeed classes or advertising on TV or anything like that? How do you bring new people in?
Well, right now we have a social media person who is posting clips up every week and stuff like that. And we used to do ads for the gym and stuff like that, but ads are a really, really tough thing to do well.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it well, you can waste a whole lot of money.
Right.
So, but we did do ads in the past, and when I used to create tutorials and stuff like that, then that got us a lot of attention on YouTube early on.
Right.
And so I would say mainly it's our clips and stuff like that, and that we get a lot of attention from there. And we just try to make sure we use our hashtags well and make sure all our bases are posting stuff regularly.
Right.
And I'm really hoping to start putting up tutorials again, and so get some excitement on that again.
Right. Cang, for you, as somebody who developed this himself, right? I know you worked with other people as well. Do you find it just as fun as you did in the beginning when it was just you and a group of buddies out in the park? Or is it more cumbersome now because you have all these rules to think about and you have a leadership responsibility? It's not just the same as you going out with your buddies and beating each other up, right? You've got to be kind of the example for everybody else.
I'm there's some extent of that in which I can't do everything that I used to.
Right.
Like I don't get to fight as much anymore. I definitely feel like my skills have atrophied and stuff like that, because at this point my focus is on growing and making sure that people around me are getting better,
Right.
and especially given that these people are not just my members, they're my customers, so I need to make sure that they're taken care of. And so my focus now is I'm not the Pokemon anymore, I'm the Pokemon trainer kind of. And so I don't get to fight as much. Like I said before, I don't get to experiment as much because I want to go out there and work with Dyad Saber and Ren Saber, but I need to focus on my beginners and make sure that they're learning, and again I need to get them into the sport and stuff like that, so I need to work with them. One thing I do miss a lot is I don't get to film as many videos and just work on videos, because I really like it, making videos and stuff like that.
Right.
But overall though, there's just a lot of stuff that I miss, but I'm really proud of where we're at, and so ultimately I really like making games. I like to make activities,
Right.
and so that's kind of my focus at this point. And so there's a lot of burdens of leadership and stuff like that, but I definitely wouldn't trade it.
Right. Say Wong is asking, is there a match happening in the background behind you?
Oh no, that's a that's a tennis match. There's my base is practicing over to the side over there, but they were making a lot of noise. So
Excellent. How often do you guys meet up?
The Irvine base meets up twice a week on Thursday and Sundays in the park, and I'm hoping to open up a new school across the street from my house, actually. And so I'll hopefully have those open twice a week. So if those aren't going to interfere with each other, then we'll have something 4 days a week, actually. So
Wow, not bad at all. So your big focus right now is, I imagine, this tournament that's coming. One more time, the dates on that. Could you tell me again?
Yeah, the dates are June 22nd through the 25th.
So I imagine that's the big focus right now, right?
Yes, but we also have a special tournament coming up the month before that. I think the last weekend of May, there's going to be a beach tournament actually in SoCal. So if y'all are going to make it to Vegas, you should make it to that or something like that. But the Vegas is going to be the big thing.
Wonderful, wonderful. And can people how many bases do you have total? I know a bunch of them are in Southern California, and then you have ones that are spread out. Like there's Kyber Combat was in Texas.
Yeah. So to answer this question, it kind of depends how generous you want to let me be, because if you count everyone that was part of Lightspeed before pandemic, that and is still around, but they've kind of floated away, then we maybe have like 15. You know,
Oh, wow.
so they're still kind of associated with us, but if you're really strict on it, then we probably have maybe 10 to 12, I'd say, in North America. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
again, it's the reason why I don't have an exact number is because, like, we have people who are associated with us. We don't want to kick them out per se, even though
Right.
we know that they've moved on to other things, and they're still associated with us, and they still send competitors and stuff like that. But we know that they've moved to different things. Like they've either focused on their own, creating their own system, or they've refocused on to other activities rather than lightsaber.
Right.
So we don't want to. We don't want to be mean and say that you're gone or anything like that, and we hope that they'll come back and stuff like that. But that's why it's a little bit weaselly on that.
Well, Cang, we're gonna get ready to come to the end here pretty soon. Is there anything you want to talk to people about that we haven't covered? Anything that you think people should know about?
Yeah, I'd just like to encourage people to come out to Lightspeed Returns. It's our third North American tournament. We tend to call it nationals, but anyone's welcome to come to it. There is an open division, so even if it's your first competition, even if you haven't earned a grade with us yet, you're welcome to come in and compete. And we have workshops, and so even if we try to make the event beginner friendly. So again, even if you've never competed with us, even if you've never done anything with us, we'll have workshops that are there for you to learn stuff. Right. And also, if you are trying to work on creating your own squadron, on the last day, I'm going to have a workshop for potential squadron leaders who are trying to start their own teams. So that's going to be a great time to come and learn and network with other people and learn how to make your own base as well. So please come out to it. And even if we're also very, very open to anyone of any other systems. So if you do kendo or Olympic fencing, or if you're in Saber Legion, or if you use the French lightsaber system,
Right.
none of that's a problem. So just come out and try it out and have some fun.
And for those of you who have not done Lightspeed, I can tell you from personal experience, it is so much fun. It's great entertainment. It's good exercise. It's great camaraderie. And it's a different way to get exercise than just hitting the gym all the time on the treadmill and or something like that. So I highly recommend it. And actually, I need to get back out myself.
Yeah, I hope to see you there, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope because I'm hoping to get some cool prizes from you, but I'd love for you to be there and give them out yourself.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm still going to try to see if I can get at least a couple of people to go out there and stream this. But if not, I definitely know I've got prizes for you guys, for all your winners.
All right, sounds good.
Excellent. Cang, thank you so much for spending time with us on a Sunday night, taking time out from your practice. Please tell your squad we said hello, and we give them all our love, and we will see them in Vegas.
Is that a promise?
Yeah. Well, I might see it. I might have to see it through the screen, but we'll see. I'm still trying to figure it out, dude. I have no.
Okay, dude.
All right. Thank you so much, Cang.
All right. Thanks, Van, and thank you, Metso.
All right. So some of you in the audience, the blade does a lot more flexing with than a lot of other saber fights you may have seen. That's because they use a smaller size blade. I forgot to. I believe it's a 3/4 blade that they use. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. So what is nice about that blade is it's a lot faster. It swings through the air a lot faster. It doesn't do as much damage, but it does sting when it hits you a lot more. What's up, Graveyard?
Graveyard, have a hot drink.
Just finish it.
He's been having some sore throat lately, and when you record a podcast, you talk. So
right. I thought he records on Wednesday nights.
I don't know. You guys give me
that man is on like 12 different shows. I don't even know
yes. And for those who are curious or just not curious, and anyone who just wanted to know, April 16th, I will not be here for Saber Rattle. Graveyard will actually be Van's host that evening.
Woohoo!
My mother has a knee replacement just a few days before, and so I will be watching from her house as long as she doesn't need my attention like that. Those moments,
Right.
Don't be stinged by the bendy Lightspeed sabers. They sting so bad.
They do.
You know what stings? Not a saber, but like if someone rolls up a towel and then goes at you.
Right. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, when I worked at a amusement park, and I was a costume character, we would wear like bandanas like for sweat, like black sweat, and we would take those, roll them, and hit each other in the legs, and we would draw.
Ouch. Okay, ouch and gross.
But we did that for fun. Here's hoping your mom stays back a tank and breathe. Yeah, thank you. She had her one knee replaced a little over 4 years ago. Now she's on to the other one, and she's looking forward to having it done. But like that part where you're completely healed and you're able to get back to normal,
right?
part,
Right.
She's more active than I am, so I'm super excited for her to get this taken care of. All right,
excellent.
So that was a fun interview. Thank you, Mr. Snow, for coming on. That was if you guys want to check out Lightsaber League. Lightsaber Speed League.
Saber League.
Lightspeed Saber League. Goodness gracious. In the description below is a link to their contact page so you can get in contact with them. I also posted a link about the event he was talking about in the chat. It was the Lightspeed Returns one. So I posted a link in the chat about that. That's also on their website. You can get the same information on their website.
Beautiful.
So, all right. So moving on, we have a wonderful producer on our show named Kevin Hogan, who I was so excited to finally meet at KyberCon 3.
I just saw him just a couple hours ago.
You just saw him, I know. He gives us our reports on conventions every week, and I very much enjoy his information. So without
you want to go to Vegas in June, Patrick?
the 22nd to the 25th. All right, guys, enjoy Kevin's report.
Hello, this is Kevin Hogan from Northern California with another episode of California Comic-Con Adventures. On the weekend of Sunday, March the 5th, 2023, our friends over at Ohana Comic-Con went to the South Bay area and visited the city of Hollister. We got to see their fun Comic-Con over there. Ohana Comic-Con, as you know, travels to a different city up and down the state of California every weekend there. We got to see lots of our local friends there and their fun costumes they made there at their afternoon cosplay contest there. They usually have one there at each of their events in the afternoon around 2:30 there when they're in the area there. It's definitely fun to check out there. And they visit local moose lodges, elks lodges, and veterans homes there. The venues usually have free parking there, and their vendor halls are full of neat little souvenirs to check out there. So it's always fun to get to see what stuff they have going on there with local artists making stuff there. Get to see some neat arts and crafts there for sale there. It's different fun stuff to check out there. Admissions usually very affordable, under $10 there, and the venues have free parking there, so it's definitely great if they come to a city near you. Definitely get to check them out there. It's really fun. And for those of you in the South Bay area looking forward to future events there, Ohana Comic-Con is going to be coming back on March the 19th, so definitely want to check them out there when they come to you there. And for those of you in the Oakland, Alameda area there on Saturday, March the 18th, is going to be Carrier Con. That's where they turned the aircraft carrier that's parked there in the San Francisco Bay Area there at the Alameda City area there into a Comic-Con hosting there. So it's a year-round museum, but it's kind of like a 2-for-1 deal there where you actually get to go on board there and you actually get to have a Comic-Con on board there. So I just want to make sure you're cosmic and walk up those stairs they have there going up to the aircraft carrier there, and it's really fun there. You get to go on board there, see all the cool aircraft jets that are parked inside the ship's hangars there, and get to see all the cool military stuff around there while I get to take pictures there and look at all the vendors and stuff there. It's really awesome. And also on March the 18th to the 19th is going to be SAC Comic-Con 2023 at the Safe Credit Convention Center there up in Sacramento there. So we get to see all of our friends up in the Sacramento area there, walk around the convention center in their fun costumes. That'll be awesome. And for those of you down in the Central California area there, at the Fresno Fairgrounds, March the 18th to the 19th is going to be Anime Con. So that'll be fun to check out all the vendors and artists and anime going on down there. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the pics, and we'll see you out there at the next Comic-Con.
Dude, I don't know how that man does it. I saw him today at Contra Costa Con, but I think he had just come from like OhanaCon earlier that day. And then I know next weekend we're coming into like con season. It's kind of crazy if you don't live in California. Like I hear people from all over. They're like, "Oh yeah, we've got like 2 cons this summer." Dude, literally in California, you can go to probably at least 2 cons every single weekend.
Yeah, it's insane how many we actually have.
Yeah.
I did not realize how many we had until I joined this channel and saw how many times Kevin goes to conventions.
I mean, he does a segment every week, and every week it's on at least 2 cons, if not more.
Yeah. All
so
right.
Thank you, Kevin Hogan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hogan. Yes, we do appreciate you. You and James Kaiser, thank you.
My heart sucks. Okay.
What is that? You're like made an apple. You're like,
but I'm having heart disease.
Is that? Oh my gosh. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Don't forget to check out all of our other uploads and shows. Mondays, we've got Retro Alcove. Tuesdays, we've got Beatdown. Wednesday, we've got Kyber Cave Gaming here on the morning stream, and then the night at 5 p.m. we've got Hearts of Kyber, our physical and mental health show. We also have Thursday night Kyber Cave Gaming at 8 p.m. Pacific. Friday night, 8 p.m. Pacific is our After Dark 18+. We're recommending 18 and older because of adult content and language and stuff like that. That is not allowed on this show.
And this Saturday, we have a brand new show coming out.
Yes, official announcement. We have a brand new show this Saturday happening at 10 a.m. Pacific.
And we actually have a name for it now. Okay,
yes.
Go ahead.
The Saturday morning nerd out. At least that is the working title, guys. I'm very, very excited, guys. Join through like 3 or 4 of our hosts, usually around 4, to go over headlines, nerdy news, like not just my nerdy news, but like real, like get it in like there and
games that are coming out,
games, shows, movies.
There's even a horror section. That we have a horror segment in the show.
It's going to be a segment, guys. You do not want to miss it. There's even a host choice kind of section where people kind of graveyard here. Our host in our show for Retro Alcove and other evenings like Thursday night this is his baby. Saturday morning nerd out is his baby. It is his show. He will be on there every Saturday, and then we will have cycling hosts that will join him. So guys, I'm very, very excited for that to start. Thank you, Mr. White.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah, I know. I do Mr. and Miss and like Sir and all that because I'm silly. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And we always finish our show with talk of the town. Wait, what did Kevin say? Anyone got a Russian accent in Star Trek cosplay to say like if a nuclear Luisos? Like I cannot do accents. The only accent I've ever like tried working on was Cockney. Because I did it for a theater show once, like as a last minute replacement. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Guys, don't forget, we have
Love that idea.
1,037 subscribers last I checked, so we're actually 73 or 63 away from our next giveaway. So make sure to share the channel and tell people, come for the giveaway, stay for the nerdery. I like it. All right, guys, have a beautiful evening. We'll catch you later.
Thank you so much.